Guru Nation, this is podcast episode 1001. Did you know that, Chris? You were on episode 999. Episode 1000 without even me knowing or planning it was Jaime the other day with Daniel Rodriguez. So that
Are you
was,
s- are you certain of these numbers?
these are arbitrary, but since I started
Okay.
counting, since I started counting in 2016, I started
Okay.
counting in 2016 like episode one. But
Okay.
I've done pods even before they were called podcasts.
Sure. I
We
used to
used to
do a lot
use
with you.
Skype. We used to use Skype to record like remote calls,
Hmm.
which sucked, and then in person with my little camera. I mean, like this is in reality, if I had to guess, it would be episode like 1200 something. But since I started counting, yeah,
So
this is episode 1001.
I got an idea for you. Why don't you start numbering them today? This is number one.
It's number
And put a
one.
number on there.
So start a new pod because I'm bored with the old one.
Just no. Just number one today. And then you
Number
can just
one.
guesstimate at the rest.
No, we have to like start somewhere. You got to start counting somewhere.
Yeah, right here. One.
Well, I mean, this is 1001. I
Uh,
started counting like 10 years ago.
but you're guessing at the previous thousand.
You're right. Right.
So you would know.
Essentially, what you're recommending I do, I did this already in 2016.
Okay.
I started at one. I was like, fuck it. It's one. It's really like number 200, but let's go with number one.
Do each of them have a number?
They each
No.
have a number since then. Yeah.
I mean, you put a number in the title.
Yeah. On the
Podcast number
podcast,
one.
yes. On the
Oh,
audio.
okay. Okay.
Like on if you're on iTunes or on Spotify or Stitcher, I don't even know where they go because they're on this service that sends them out everywhere. Yeah. On YouTube, they're not numbered. No.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, this is gonna be we got an interesting one because this is for the site owners, pain tolerance, right? And we know something about this ourselves all too well.
Yes, there's definitely pain involved.
Yeah. To the point
That
where I expect, like, if I ever start a new business venture or a new site or a new, like, when we started SOS or when we started what's a relatively recent business, like Patient Ace, or if we were ever going to start that CRO, which I don't know if it's ever going to take off the ground with our friend, but we'll talk about that more tomorrow. But I expect pain. And if I don't see the pain or feel the pain, I think something's wrong. Like you're gonna have to master your tolerance for pain if you want to start a business in this industry, in any industry, but in this industry especially, and especially like a site owner. And right now, a lot of people, man, yesterday,
so
Chris,
I want to interject
okay, but
something
I
real
don't want
quick.
to lose this thought, so go
Okay, go
ahead.
ahead. Finish. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yesterday, because we're doing the Houston meetup, right?
Hmm.
Yesterday, someone messaged me, hey, and this is somebody I've known. She's been in the CRA Academy since she was in our 2017 class.
Wow.
She's been a CRA for like a bunch of CROs. She just got laid off and she's trying to find another job, but she's convincing her husband to start a site.
Ooh, very
And
nice.
so they're like, this is a timely topic, man. People
Oh,
are
for sure.
literally on a daily basis thinking about starting sites, which the industry needs. But I don't think a lot of y'all realize what you're in for. And
So
that's what
would
me and Chris are here to break it down, and especially Chris Sauber.
so I have a question. Would you say you must have a vein, if not thoroughly encompassed in being a sadomasochist to start your own business?
Yeah.
Like you have to have a vein of it, right? At
Well,
least.
you have to be willing to experience it because nobody starts a business expecting pain, right? Like we do because we're experienced. But if you're going to start a brand new site, you're like, oh, I've been a CRA. I think I can do it. I know there's a few things I need to learn, but you don't think it's going to be this hard.
See, just a little philosophical here, I guess.
I love philosophy, man.
I know you do. So I would say it's sweeter when there is some pain, right?
Of course.
What I mean by that is if it comes real easy and you don't experience any of the negativities, it doesn't seem as rewarding. It doesn't seem really like you did anything, right? If there is no pain.
Yeah, it almost feels like a dream. Um, it almost feels like something's wrong, or like there's like an eerie feeling, like what did I do wrong? What is yet to happen? At least for
Hmm.
me. Like with
I get that
YCT,
too. I get that too.
yeah, you know what I mean? Like with
Yeah.
YCT, we started it in 2021.
22.
Yeah,
Yep.
like end of 21, early 22. It was relatively smooth sailing because we're experienced. The pain really didn't start till this year. Like slow, delayed
Hmm.
studies,
Hmm.
slower than we expected, trials that we were excited about getting taken away. Uh, the pain was this year. And Jaime, who's a new business owner, didn't really experience pain until this year.
This year.
That's why episode 1,000's a must listen. Go listen.
So is it inevitable there will always be pain? See, I don't think that's the case per se.
If you're in it long enough, yeah.
But I would say vast majority will experience some sort of pain. Like,
Oh, if you're in it long enough, yeah. Maybe you get lucky like with YCT or you time it well through dumb luck that you had smooth sailing the first year or two.
mm,
The pain will come. Like there's no way a business you can have a real business without having challenges.
and
Because
it could,
that's ultimately what we're paid to do is solve problems. So you can't rationally expect there's no problems, yet you're getting paid to solve these problems like without having obstacles and pain.
and the pain just doesn't necessarily mean money, right? It
No,
can come at you from all kinds of angles, right? It can be a business partner who's become very difficult to work with. It
no.
can be any number of things, a lawsuit for whatever reason, which I guess is money. But in our industry, it could be an FDA audit that you know is not going to go well for whatever reason. It can hit you from all kinds of angles.
It could be a PI change their mind right when you're getting busy.
Oh, yeah.
It could be employees getting complacent. It could be employees fighting with each other,
Or quitting
uh,
when you need them the most.
quitting when you're needing them most, or fighting with each other and making you basically be a therapist rather than manager. Uh, not speaking from experience necessarily. Wink, wink.
Mhm.
But yeah, there's still like
Here's
pain
another
comes in
wink,
form.
wink. Don't hire all female.
Chris said that, not me. Send your complaints to Chris at
Well,
brkthru.org.
Dan's wink, wink is because they're all female.
Well, right now it's 90% female at my
Yeah,
site,
there's
yeah.
one male, but you're referring to all the females.
Well, I'm not even referring to this cohort.
I know.
There's a previous
We won't
cohort.
get you in too much trouble. Yes, we won't get you in
You're
too
the
much
one
trouble.
saying this shit. I'm immune from this one, man. I got the antibodies.
Okay.
But yeah, it could be, and actually, my when I had to play therapist the first time in my career as a manager, the beef was between a male and a female. Um, Remember he said he's gonna put spikes on her desk, like the roofs keep pigeons away? That
Yeah, that guy was a character.
Well, I had to play therapist back then
Is
too.
he still
So
in research?
yeah,
Do you know? Is he?
yeah.
Do you know what he's doing?
He's a sub-I for a big site network.
Oh,
Raider.
okay. Makes sense.
Yeah. Shout out to the nameless, forever
Yeah.
remain nameless.
Yes. Very, very much a character for sure.
So that pain could come in many different forms, but it basically pain is derailing you from your goals. Something that derails you from your goals that's not pleasant for you to deal with.
So,
Because there's things that can derail you from your goals that are pleasant, like I just had a newborn. I'm gonna take it like a year off or take it slow this year and whatever. It'll derail from my goals, but it's worth it, right? That's pleasant. Or I'm just gonna go travel the world and it's okay. I'll take a hit on the revenue, but it's worth it. And then but that's not pain. Pain is something you don't enjoy that's derailing you from your goals.
So,
That's the way I would define it. I don't know how you would define it.
well, I was going to go about it at a little different angle. So, regardless of the type of business, doesn't have to be research or medical. What would you say for most businesses would be expected pain? Expected, right?
Financial.
I would agree. So financial because it takes a while to get your business off the ground. You start a new restaurant, you may have the greatest recipes ever invented. Nobody's going to be there for a while till the word gets out, right? Or in research specifically, it's difficult as a research site to get your first study.
Yeah.
So definitely money, right? For most new businesses. And I would say probably almost all of them. Do you have, not because we're only versed in our business, what would you say is a good baseline to be prepared for this? What do you need in place to be prepared for this?
You need a willingness and you need to be resilient. You need a willingness to do whatever it takes and to wear whatever hat you need to wear to solve that particular problem.
Okay, so there's only a few problems initially, right? It's getting a study, right? You have a PI, you have a location, it's getting a study.
It's getting a study, but then very quickly the problems evolve into something else.
Sure, once you have a study,
Yeah, yeah.
but it's getting that first study. So there's only so much work you can put in to get a study. You have to eventually get kind of lucky, in my opinion.
You got to get lucky or get a sponsor that's desperate,
Yep, yep.
which maybe
And
that's the same thing. I don't know. I don't think it's the same thing.
I don't think it is either. So until then, it could take 2 months. We've had clients get studies in as quickly as 10 days. That's the record.
The record's 10 days. Wow.
Yeah. And then
Lucky bastards.
we've had clients take literally 2 years.
Yep. 2 years is, I've seen that. And
So
that's for people that, yeah, 2 years is a little too much to not get
but
a study.
it's everything in between. We have a very successful client. Took her almost 2 years to get her first study, and she's very successful now.
Is it because she's a very type A and a perfectionist?
No, I think for her, she was too busy.
Oh, okay.
She had another job she was working and just kept missing
That's
things.
different. That's different.
But
That's different.
nonetheless, it still took 2 years.
Yeah, but that's different because she's not fully committed.
Right.
Yeah.
Um, but how do you prepare for those? Let's say on average, it takes 9 months to get your first study when you're in a new site.
So how do you prepare for that? The pain
Nine
during that
months?
time period?
Yeah. So it's not just a matter of mental, but preparation as a whole.
Well, you need to be financially secure during that period. So if you have bills to pay and you're relying on that new business to contribute, good luck to you.
Yep.
You might as well just stop now because that's not a good strategy.
Nope.
So you need to have either a savings plan, a savings that you have allocated to invest in this thing, or you have other means like this lady who took 2 years. I mean, it sounds like she had another income that she was relying on.
Mhm.
So that's, in a way, that's good. She kind of minimized her pain. Even though it took longer, she minimized the extent of the pain or the
Right.
magnitude of the pain because she decided to take longer. She kind of like diluted the pain. Like instead of being concentrated all at once, she diluted it so that she doesn't
Yeah.
have to be financially
And
in pain.
you may remember her from this story, but her scenario was she had a
Chicago?
yeah,
I
she
don't
was
know who it
notified
is.
of a site selection visit.
I just emailed message with her because I know somebody that moved to Chicago from Yuma that
Okay,
needed a job, and she interviewed her.
nice.
Yeah,
So she didn't check her email for like two
I
weeks, and
remember.
they were trying to schedule a site selection visit,
I
and
remember.
they moved on from her.
And now she's one of our most successful. Matter of fact, this lady's like a stellar site to be emulated.
Hmm. But
And the
the
way she is type A. I know
she
who it
is.
is.
Yeah, she is.
So as a comp, I was right without knowing at the time who it was.
Yeah.
Usually the type A's take longer to get started because they want everything perfect. They want, and there's
Mm,
nothing wrong with that, but they want everything perfect. And then on top of it, you don't want to leave your current job.
sure.
It's going to take
But
long.
in her scenario specifically, she did get a study site selection visit within 4 or so months. It was 3, 4 or 5 months, something like that.
Mhm.
And as we both know, you have a site selection visit, you're going to get the study around 98% of the time, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
um, that's almost a given that you lost that study, right?
Yes.
From the
Yes.
percentages of award. So yeah, I mean, it's just these things happen, and it just goes to show you it took her another year and a half to actually get a study.
Well, I think the key is to not be paralyzed by fear or anxiety. You'll
Mhm.
have fear and anxiety, but not to be paralyzed by it.
So this is true
Because,
for all businesses.
correct. Yeah. But for site owners, we see that all the time.
Oh yeah.
Like, it takes so long to get a study, okay, and then you get a site, your first site selection, and you're paralyzed by fear to the point where you do so bad that you don't get the study. So
Right.
now you have to wait longer. Or
Yep.
you just say, you know what, I'm never gonna be able to do this, and you do something else.
Yeah. Do not be that in that situation where you've wasted time and resources, and primary resource being money, to find out you just don't have it to be a business owner, right?
Right.
Have a good understanding of yourself before even getting started.
That's right. And you're a poker player, so you know more than most, more than even, I guess, most people listening, about risk. And you have to you have to be comfortable with risk. And I think that's where your skills as a poker player come in because
Well,
you know how to deal with the risk. Risk, everything you do in business and in life, but in business for the site owners out there is gonna involve risk, even for the experienced site owners.
you can only mitigate risk so much,
Right.
unfortunately.
Right.
So,
Risk
and
is not bad though.
no, 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 but something most, it's funny because when I talk to potential clients on calls, they just think for whatever reason there's no way they can fail. And I have to break them back to reality and say, hey,
Mm,
you do understand that 80% of new businesses fail, right? So you are gambling. You're only
hmm.
looking at a 20% rate of potential success. I do think we mitigate that to a degree, but there's still a lot of people that fail,
You're on
right?
the risk on
Right.
scenario.
I generally tell clients,
Interesting,
I
interesting.
generally tell clients, potential clients, and I believe I'm being in the realm of honest because I don't have metrics on this, but I tell them, listen, we probably mitigate your failure rate to 50%, but there's just no way I can promise you you will get a study or your PI doesn't leave you or any other number of other things happen. So you're still a coin flip at success.
So is this where serial entrepreneurs might do worse than new first-time entrepreneurs in that they're so risk on, they don't even see the potential for failing, and therefore the first time they actually see a glimpse of failure, their pain tolerance completely flips to where they're caught off guard.
So you're speaking specific to our industry.
Sure, yeah. We've seen, we've had a client before. This one stands out to me from Arkansas,
Hmm.
and he was very risk on. And he was one of these guys that, oh yeah, I've done business before. I don't fail. You know, he knew what he was getting into
Hmm.
as far as the risk on, risk off, risk reward balance, like macro concept. But then he didn't understand the nuances of research. And yeah, he failed. I mean, he took on like three studies and wasn't able to provide good service, good value to the sponsor, and decided this is not for him.
Mhm.
So his pain tolerance went when he started from I can do anything, I've done it before to oh man, I didn't think it was gonna be like this. And this
Mhm.
goes back to my point of human beings are creatures that experience, and you can learn, you can try to teach somebody from your experience, hey, this is best practices, blah, blah, blah. Ultimately, they're going to have to experience things themselves. Mark Twain said it best. He said, good judgment comes from experience, which comes from bad judgment. And ultimately, as much as you try to have best practices and things like that, you have to go through it yourself to truly have that experience, that quote unquote experience.
So, what would be some bad judgments for research specifically? Mhm.
Overhiring or underhiring, both. Overspend is probably a bigger sin than underspending, at least in the beginning
Well, it
uh
depends.
years.
If you get in and expect, hey, I have to be earning an income in 3 months,
Well,
well
then you
then,
better not be spending. You better be one of the employees. You can't
sure.
be
But
boss. You
I'm
can't be
saying
boss,
starting your own
baby.
business in that situation.
Right.
I would say you're in the wrong business.
Yes.
You better have started a newspaper business where you're getting subscriptions and
Newspaper. This
I'm
ain't
using
1969.
I'm using it as an example. Okay,
Where do I know that? Where am I getting 1969 from? Oh yeah, shout out Joey Finro.
yeah. So
He
well,
watches.
you could go out and start your own newspaper business back in the day and go around selling subscriptions. That's
Sure.
pretty
And
immediate.
you'll have a great business. I think you're better off starting a site.
Sure, sure. A lot more lucrative. The point is, though, that you need to be in a situation where you can withstand time, because time is a factor.
Yes. Yes. Exactly. And I think I you're very good point. I think time, I'm glad you brought that into the equation because time is this metaphysical thing. I don't want to get too philosophical, but time is this like metaphysical concept where we just kind of get used to it. But time can either be your ally or your enemy. And when you're investing, like they talk about risk reward, time can be your ally if you're not desperate. Not just investing, I'm using that as an example, but if you're convicted into your investments, like if you're like, you know what, this is Bitcoin. I don't care about the short term. I know in 10 years it's going to be much more than it is now. I'm just going to dollar cost average. I'm not going to panic when the headlines are out there and there's blood in the streets. Like, generally, time is on your side in that case. When it's not on your side is when people get highly leveraged. So they go 10x on their investments. They start borrowing to invest, and they need to start paying back the interest on their borrowings. The analogy for a business would be you go in debt in order to start your business, right? Signing a lease, um, hiring staff that you don't have anything for them to do. The clock starts ticking against you in those cases. And when time is working against you, there is nothing you can do that does not take a whole lot of effort for you to get yourself out of that hole. Whereas when time's working for you, you wish time would go on forever because it's just everything's going well for you.
So I've given an example of where I don't know if I'm making your point or making a counterpoint, but um, we had this client that was a big group, right? And well
Mm,
funded,
mm,
like well funded.
mm.
The first time or second time I spoke with them, I was speaking with 10 different doctors on an meeting call,
Yeah.
right? And it was just this huge multi-center, right? Multi-practice center. And they had obviously a lot of funding. So that wasn't a factor to them, right? What we charged and everything else. But because it wasn't a factor to them, they did not place anyone to take care of business development, right? I
Mm,
think I spoke with three different people over about the 9 months they were with us, explaining to them what they needed to do.
mm.
Because doctors were not conveying, because that was all I would speak with, were not conveying, hey, we need to have a study coordinator who needs to handle stuff, right?
Yeah,
They were new to research. They had a good setup for research, but the problem was is money and time wasn't working against them. So it didn't motivate them
mm,
to take the necessary steps to structure the business accordingly.
right.
Are you following what I'm saying? They
I'm
just were
following.
too lackadaisical about it.
Yeah, yeah,
They eventually just wound up canceling because
yeah,
nobody was doing anything. They were just paying us for nothing. We were sending them our stuff,
yeah, yeah. I
but
guess that's
nobody was
apathy.
taking
That's
care of it.
apathy. That's apathy.
But but there can be a situation where you're in the best situation where, okay, time's not working against you, money's not working against you, and you actually it kind of contributes to your failure.
Correct. Yeah, there's a fine line. I think that example's apathy, which is kind of worse of both worlds.
Hmm.
Um, a better like an example from my personal experiences, and they happen right after each other. In 2012, uh, this was I expanded after the Great Recession, and I was trying to sell to a group that came out to look at us, and I needed a bridge loan to make payroll between that point and when this group was supposed to buy us. And because we had a bunch of studies in the pipeline or whatever, so we looked promising, but we're actually burning too much cash every month, right? And payroll was every 2 weeks. And then I had rent in three different places. And it was kind of a mess. It was before we split into breakthrough clinical trials, like
Hmm.
right before that. And so I took out this loan where it was, I don't even want to shout them out because I don't recommend anyone do it, but they're reputable. Um, I remember the name. I'm not shouting them out. And they give you like the cash, but then every day they take out, I think it was $300 or 200 or $300 from the account until you pay it back. So it's like really is a bridge loan. Like it's meant to be short-term working capital. So any study delays, any like we had this huge inpatient study about to start, right? If I didn't take that loan, I wouldn't really care when that study started. Like it'd be nice for it to start, but it doesn't matter if it's next month or the month after. But taking out that loan, when you're taking out $200 or $300 a day from your account, when you're already hemorrhaging cash, is not fun. Time
Yep.
worked against me. Any study delays compounded my pain. Now, the flip side of that was the study did end up starting. We loaded up patients in that inpatient unit
Mhm.
like crazy. I paid off that loan and like the first payment we got. I was like, fuck this. Pay the rest of it. And now time's working for me because I had a inpatient unit with like 5 people in it every night.
Mhm.
So now I literally went from every day sucks, like literally was my thesis.
Right.
Fuck,
Completely
another
flipped.
day. Another
Completely
day.
flipped.
Fuck. I would wake
Sure.
up. There were times when B of A, the banks would refresh the ledgers at 3 a.m. Pacific time. I knew this detail.
Mhm.
I would wake up at 3 in the morning and see
To
if we
check
got
your
paid,
account.
to see if we got paid from
Sure.
someone else.
So this is the sadomasochist part.
That's the part. But then, like 2 months later, I loved every day because now we got like 4 or 5 patients a night
And
in this unit.
it was sweeter because it hurt that much more 2, 3 months ago.
Yeah, and you can't have enough days. Like I went from fuck another day to like almost like I hope the sun doesn't come up to we can't have enough next days, you
Mhm.
know? And it's like, but what really changed? Nothing changed other than my 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 need for the cash. That's literally the only variable was how desperate was I?
So, which
So if
brings up a
desperation works, don't get yourself in a hole like that. I'm telling you guys.
so you overextended.
Yeah,
Um,
I learned the hard way too, but that was pain. That's probably the most financial pain I was ever in.
and would you say that you were highly stressed at that time?
Yeah, it's not worth it.
Would you say
But
that?
it made me better because I'm more conservative now. I'm
Sure.
still not like very conservative, but I'm a lot more disciplined now than I was back then. And I have more of a respect for money that I probably didn't have. That I needed to go through that to have a healthy respect for money.
Well, I would say that's another component you better not be opposed to, and that's stress, because regardless, you're going to experience stress.
Hmm.
And some of it is oftentimes really stressful, as Dan's demonstrating. And I have been through things like that myself, and
Mm.
it's not pleasant.
But would you agree with me? You have to experience that for yourself. No one can teach you this.
No, of
You
course
can't
not.
read a book and replicate that experience. It's the fact that you experienced it because humans are meant to experience things
Yep. It's
and learn
it's
directly that way.
it's not you're not going to be able to sleep through the night, as again Dan spoke of, and I've been through that as well. You're going to be miserable because you're behind on your bills and you need the cash. It
If the
sucks.
first thing you do when you open your eyes is check the bank account, like you need to reposition your uh life, I think.
Well, when you start a business, you're going to experience these things
Yeah,
more likely than not.
yeah,
More likely than not.
yeah. You need to get yourself out of that period as quickly as you can.
Yep.
And if you do whatever you can to avoid being in there too long.
So what's ideal? What situation would you say is ideal? For me, if I were to give advice to someone, which I often do, obviously it's you cannot be reliant upon an immediate income, right? If you already know you
No.
can only withstand this for 6 months, you may want to reconsider starting a business at this time.
Yeah.
Because yeah, great, you have enough money to support yourself for 6 months, but what if it takes a year? What are you going to do?
Yeah.
And that's one of the number one reasons businesses fail. They run out of revenue, operating revenue.
A lot of people would say, well, I'm just going to keep going a little bit longer because I don't want to quit. Quitting is not in my vocabulary. And then they start taking their own savings and putting it in. And then, I mean, I've done that too.
Hmm.
Um, I've basically done all of that other than
Yeah.
mortgage and property. But I wouldn't go that far, but some people do that.
If you're committed, I mean, there's nothing wrong with if you're absolutely committed, you're almost 100% certain you'll succeed. There's nothing wrong with setting yourself up to start the business, but if you're damn certain that you're going to be successful, otherwise it's kind of hard to win back your home, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and when I took out that loan for the business, I knew there was this study starting, and we actually had two studies like this that were similar.
Hmm.
One was really big, and the other one was big still. The other one, you had it at the San Bernardino site as well.
Yeah, I remember both the studies you're referring
Yeah.
to.
So I knew, okay, it's very unlikely I'm going to lose both. And so I'll do it, but I did not anticipate the pain to be and the anxiety, even for that 2, 3 month period, to be that intense. But it
Hmm.
absolutely was.
Hmm.
And so just, I don't know. I mean, we talk about they're going to have to experience it for themselves, but we're trying to articulate it here. But ultimately this is just a warning to give you advice. There is light on the other end of the tunnel, but sometimes you do have to pull the plug. I have not had to pull the plug. I've pivoted. I think
Uh, we
pivoting is good.
we've pulled the plug on a few things.
Yeah, the things we pulled the plug on though were not like
No, we've
causing that
invested.
kind of anxiety though.
No, they didn't cause the. Well, they did a little bit, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
of the people involved
Uh-huh.
and with the wasted money, resources, time, money.
Right, right.
Uh, um, but not to that extent where I was losing sleep or very minimal.
Yeah. No, no. That's maybe that's something that can it help offset or help you tolerate the pain a little better is having a diverse stream of income for your site or for your whether that's having multi-specialist or many locations or maybe several different streams of revenue when you're getting started, something to kind of offset the inevitable financial pain because that's
Yeah,
coming.
those that are best set up to start any business would be if you have a significant other that can pay the bills,
Mm.
right? So your revenue is not necessary.
I actually did have that at the time. My wife was working, and for a while we were depending on her
Right,
paycheck.
right. So that's one system that you can succeed with, so long as they are able that one income to cover all responsibilities, right? Because if they can cover 90% and you have some savings, that could be depleted eventually. And then what do you do? Right.
Hmm.
So that's one of the better setups. Another one is if you can work and cover yourself while you establish your business. Um, that's another system. Even in that system, though, you're going to want a savings because eventually you're going to have to flip, probably. And what I mean by that is you'll either have to hire out, you'll have to be able to cover salaries, which you would use for your savings with your savings, or you're going to have to quit your job and be able to sustain yourself
Mm.
until the revenue's coming in. And in either situation, you won't have enough revenue to cover either your expenses or if you should hire to cover the expenses. Because there will, in this industry specifically, but probably most others, there will be a point where you'll get busy enough that it requires your attention, or at least you hire someone, but you
Mm.
don't have the revenue to support those things probably just yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you still need some savings, even in that situation where you can work while you establish your business. You still want some savings for that time when that time comes.
Yeah. I agree. There's also this another strategy a lot of entrepreneurs have of having poor short-term memory. So kind of not dwelling on your failures too much because you're gonna have a bunch of failures when you're starting, which is like micro failures, besides the financial pain, you're gonna have a bunch of different kind of pain, like monitor is gonna say, oh, you guys don't have your act together, or you need a better process for your operations, or man, you guys just every time I come here, you need to retraining for your site. You need to listen and implement, but you can't dwell on your failures. Like those are all like micro failures. And the best business people, from my experience, take that feedback not really as criticism, but as an opportunity to make the business better.
Mhm.
And there's people who, the type that can never take constructive
Criticism.
criticism.
Mhm.
Like everything's personal to them. And then they dwell on that. And it's not doing themselves any good because no, first of all, nobody cares. Like you may be the main character in your own movie, but everyone's living their own movie. Like you're just a minor character at best in their movie. So why do you care what other people think? Take it, take the criticism, use it as an opportunity. Now, if it's not valid, that's one thing. You have to have good judgment and make sure
Hmm.
that it's like warranted. Or if
Hmm.
someone's just being an asshole, that's different.
Hmm.
But chances are, if it's a monitor and then more than one monitor saying the same thing and they don't even know each other and they're all pointing to the same issues at your site, you got something to fix. And it's not everyone else's fault. It's your responsibility to fix it. So the best business people kind of just do that. They implement those changes quickly, and they don't even dwell on the fact that they just had these micro failures. Like they use that as opportunity to get better, whereas the people who are like very type A or very emotionally tied to their work, or they get their sense of value from what others think of them, dwell on that, and then kind of snowball into a downward spiral of everything's a failure. This sucks. I can't do
Hmm.
this.
Hmm.
And I don't know how better to articulate it than that, but that's a form of pain as well. That's beyond financial. Like
Certainly.
you're gonna be told a lot of times you're not very good at this. You can be better, and
Yeah.
you gotta
Well, I
take
don't
it
know
in
if you're
stride.
told. So you're not told it like that. What you're told is you're not doing this correctly.
Mhm.
This is how it needs to be done. I remember the first time I was sat down and told Alcoa. I was in the industry for about 3 months. It's like, Alcoa, what the hell is that? And they went through it and said, all your source documents need to reflect all of these attributes. It's like, oh, okay, that makes sense, right? So you have to be able to listen, right?
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
what Dan's saying, not shut down because you feel as though you're being attacked.
Well, not just listen, but implement what they are
Yeah, that's
telling you.
part of listening,
Hmm.
right? You're hearing what the person's saying and you're taking it to heart and will utilize it accordingly.
Yeah,
In my opinion, that's listening.
yeah,
So because you're gonna, like Dan's saying, you're going to be told, especially when you're starting out, you're making a lot of errors,
yeah,
right? This is wrong, that's wrong, this is wrong.
yeah,
You can't get butthurt over that. Matter of fact, you need to do the ops and say, thank you, I appreciate that. I did not know that, or maybe you don't want to say I did not know that, but I appreciate the information. I will certainly start working under that particular system you're describing. In this case, Alco.
yeah, yes. And that's a good example. So the better entrepreneurs, from my experience, love to hear that. They don't take it personally. And it may not be what you want to hear, but it essentially means you have more work coming up. That's what
Hmm.
I translate when I get feedback like that. Like, okay, I have
Or
some
you
work to do.
maybe work to correct past work, but a lot of times what you're being told, especially by CRAs who are knowledgeable and are good at their job, what you're being told is actually a shortcut,
Yeah,
right? Because
exactly.
it's going to cut down on your work because you won't have to deal with the errors. And more than likely, it will save you time on trying to figure out what you're supposed to be doing.
It's like free training for you and your staff.
Yeah.
So you need to implement, but it is work. Like they are effectively increasing your workload
Mhm.
if you
Well,
do listen and
initially,
implement.
for
Yep.
sure, initially, because you have to utilize this going back.
And a lot of people don't have time because they're like, well, we're just getting started. I have to like still screen these patients and we have to make money. I don't have time for defense when it's offense, but you gotta kind of be open to that criticism and use it to your advantage. And I've seen people outright refuse to do that. And out
Mhm.
of hubris or out of maybe that's how they were raised, where they were told growing up that nothing they did is wrong.
Or the reverse. I've
Or the
met
reverse, yeah.
where they were always told they were wrong, and so now
Hmm.
they're very close-minded to that.
Now they're rebelling against that, or they have trauma
Yep,
from that. So
yep, they shut down.
you gotta work on yourself as a business person
Hmm.
a lot. I think business people are the ultimate generalists in our society. Entrepreneurs, I think, are the ultimate generalists. Now that I
Is
think
that?
about it.
I don't know if that's true or not. Certainly in some regards it
I mean, I
is.
think the best entrepreneurs in the world right now, let's say it's Elon Musk, right? He's like,
That's exactly what I was thinking of.
I think
I
Elon can do any business. You throw him into any industry.
see, I don't know if I agree with that.
I think so. I think he'll figure it out.
Maybe.
I think the best, and that's because he's a generalist. Like, there's this appetite for curiosity. There's this, this pain tolerance that we're talking about right now. And there's these like open-mindedness of there's probably a better way. There's
All right.
probably I'm not doing something well. Let's change it. I think they're the ultimate generalist.
You never do this, so I'm really curious. For those who watch this video, I want to see comments. Dan never calls for comments, I don't think, but I
I
want to
do. I
see
just did on a video earlier today.
I want to see comments. Elon Musk, could he start a pizza franchise, pizza restaurant, right?
Easily.
Could he start a Best Buy? No, Best Buy is a bad example. He probably
Easily.
could. He probably could. But a restaurant. See, I'm not sure Elon Musk could start a
I
restaurant.
think you can start anything. It's boils down to
So
first principles.
could Elon Musk start a restaurant? Let me see it in the comments. I want to
Yeah,
know.
first principles. Everything has a process. Everything is broken down into systems. Everything has its fundamental element. Yeah, I think forget Elon Musk. It's clear he can do it.
Let's see,
I
I don't
think,
necessarily think it is because I'm talking because of his personality traits.
yeah, but he knows enough about his own downsides to alleviate that or to minimize that.
Maybe to hire for that.
But yeah, to hire.
But let's say he's not the richest man on the planet. He's starting a business that we're describing here for others, where he's going to be intricately involved in it. See, I'm not sure
Well,
he could start a restaurant.
yeah, I
I'm
mean,
not sure he could.
cooking the meals, maybe not, but setting up all like being the project manager, yeah, Elon gets his hands dirty all the time.
Yeah, I know he does.
I
I
think
know he
so.
does.
And I th forget Elon. I think people watching, like, I think site owners that have been doing this for 20 years can be thrown into other industries and figure it
Oh,
out too.
sure, sure. And so could Elon. I'm just saying
Yeah.
one specific one. I don't know that he would be good at
But
just because of his
that's
personality.
not Elon. To me, it's simple, but leave it in the comments. But like the more interesting thing is me or you or people like us that have only
Sure.
done
I get your point.
research.
I'm going on a severe tangent. Your point is valid.
I'm telling you though, entrepreneurs, it's a skill to be a business person, and that skill is transferable.
Hmm.
I I'm convinced of this, and I think clinical research is an excellent sandbox because it teaches you B2C, so the patients are the consumer.
Hmm.
It teaches you B2B,
Hmm.
the pharma are the other businesses you deal with. It teaches you
One of
about,
many you deal with.
yep, it teaches you about, I mean, it's pretty high up there as far as regulatory burden. It's pretty high up there as far as specialized, like complex inner workings of different stakeholders. Like, I really think we could figure out at this point, me or you could probably figure out other businesses relatively easy because we've exercised our entrepreneurial muscle.
That part of it, most certainly. But there's things involved in a new business that you may be unaware of
Of
for you.
course, there's going to be everything unaware of, and there's going to be certain industries we don't
A
like.
learning curve. There's a learning curve.
And you throw us into something we don't like, we're not really going to be motivated. That's different. But
Sure.
the skill set, and I think it's important for people to master this particular pain tolerance skill set because that's transferable anywhere you go.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. If you can't handle the pain, don't even start.
That's right. And it's well worth it. So I don't know. I think we cover it all. I mean, that quote by I think the Icarus analogy, don't fly too high lest you get burned by the sun. But don't fly too low that your wings don't get weighted down by the mist from the water.
Water.
There's probably some common sense to that of
Sure.
don't get too crazy, don't get too over your skis as far as your confidence is concerned, but don't take it too easy either, because you're not really gonna get very far in both cases. So you just gotta find what's your risk tolerance, find that little jet stream that you can fly in, and if you get too high, go a little lower. If you go too low, just go a little higher until you figure it out.
Yeah, starting any business is going to be challenging.
Yeah, yeah,
So if you're opposed to being challenged, be an employee.
yeah. Nothing wrong with that either.
You're not challenged. You're not challenged as an employee. You take direction and you do whatever you're told.
And some of you guys and gals watching and listening, you will make way more money being an employee than an entrepreneur.
Mhm.
And it's your pride and your ego that's not letting you do that because you think you're a business owner. To be employee number 4 at Metadata or Gleam, shout out to them, or Creo, or any of these vendors.
Don't think they have 4 employees at this point, but continue.
Yeah, when they did, or when they will, for
Sure,
those that don't, you can make a lot more, hitching your wagon to a real entrepreneur.
sure.
And this is where you got to do that radical self-assessment. And no one else, I can't tell you, Chris can't tell you. You got to tell yourself. And you can't fool yourself.
Yeah, third of my conversations are kind of in this vein. Seriously.
Some people just, and sometimes we get it wrong, like looking as an external,
Sure.
observer.
You're not in someone else's mind, so
Exactly, and you don't go through their experiences, so you don't have the full picture.
nope.
But this is why ultimately it's recursive. It's the person watching or listening this that has to do the. And if you don't know, no harm in trying. You can always go get another job,
Hmm.
but make sure you give it like a good effort and an honest, the old college try.
I will say that obviously the harder I say this right, the harder you're willing to work, the more likely you will be successful. I do believe
Uh,
that.
yeah, yeah,
If you're lazy, yeah, you still could be successful, just your odds of success are much less.
correct. Yeah, and I'll leave it on this. You might be better off as an employee than entrepreneur, but you don't want to be on your deathbed and regretting that you never tried.
That goes with that saying.
Well, some people need to hear it now, man.
Well, how's that saying go? No one on their deathbed regrets the things they
Spending more
did.
time with their kids
No,
or
it's the things they did they don't regret. It's the things they
things they
didn't
didn't
do
do. Yeah. So
that
if
they
you really
regret.
think you have a chance of being an entrepreneur, don't let fear hold you back. And the fact that you don't have a very high pain tolerance, I think you can develop a pain tolerance over time.
Yeah, probably.
Pain is not normal. Like we're meant to avoid it.
No, absolutely. We are meant to avoid it. That's why we have pain sensory.
Yeah. So that's it. I don't know. I think it was a good podcast, man. If you need help getting studies or you need a shoulder to cry on, let Chris be your shoulder. And you can email Chris at theclinicaltrialsguru.com.
Well, thank you, Dan.
It's time to start doing that again.
Why did I turn pink?
I don't know. You're looking good, man.
So,
What are you doing to your skin? You got a nice skin routine going.
I ate a bunch of beets for lunch,
Oh,
purple beets. I guess that's what's doing it.
okay.
So,
Yeah.
kidding. But
I'll have
anyhow,
some remaining liquor to close off this
there
pod.
you go. I drank yesterday. I'm not drinking today.
Shout out to Lana with the Deja Brew.
Nice. So, yeah, I think that was all very good advice. And as you mentioned, if you're looking to start a site and want to have a conversation, happy to have one with you.
Yeah, and I'm just kidding. I will be on I'll do a call with you guys too. I don't really have a structured schedule right now.
To a call with who?
Whoever wants to talk. I used to like do Zooms with random people, but like
Oh,
I don't even know when you can ask Chris. I don't even know when I'm gonna be available that day. I'm like, just I'll be available at some point.
well, back in the day when we first started this consulting service, we would both take the calls.
And we would be on nonstop almost 24/7.
Wow, that's an exaggeration, but
No, but
yeah,
like 8 to 8.
that
Salute.
that went by the wayside when you moved to Yuma for good reason.
Yeah. And now it's definitely double by the wayside with a 9-month-old who's just starting to learn how to stand up and an Airbnb next door that's literally a full-time job.
Literally.
Literally. And for all tax purposes as well.
That's what I'm saying. Literally.
May it forever be documented.
You keep repeating it. I'm sure you're doing it on almost every pod, not even ones I'm on.
The AIs are listening.
Yes, they are.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Like, subscribe, comment, share. Great
Enjoy.
hat, Chris.
Thank you, sir.